velocity itself is a pretty simple measurement. It is effectively, work executed over a period of time. So if you estimate your stories in points and you run 2-week iterations or 2-week sprints, it's the number of points that you completed in a given sprint, right? It's important to remember that velocity is a trailing indicator. It is a health indicator, if you will. It tells you how the team did, and it gives you insight into whether the team is having problems or not. Setting goals for velocity will negate its value as a health indicator. So if you have a team that has a velocity of 10 and you'd really like them to have a velocity of 12, and you express this even in a casual fashion, what ends up happening is the team will figure out ways to hit that 12, but the value of the metric as an indicator begins to go away. For measuring velocity, there's things that we need to make sure that we're practicing. If a card is not completed, you don't count partial credit for it. Right? It's either done or it's not done. Now, this means that the definition of done has to be clear and agreed upon for the team. Done could be when development's finished, although I don't recommend that. It could be when QA is finished. It could be when the card is actually in production, which I do recommend. But whatever your definition of done is, it has to be universal for that team and well understood. And if it's not done, you don't count any of it. A lot of times when we talk about velocity, we'll talk about the concept of yesterday's weather. So how do you know what the team's velocity is going to be over the course of the next iteration? It is most likely that it will be very similar to, if not exactly matching, the velocity of this current or your prior iteration. It's the concept of yesterday's weather. If you look at the weather outside, there's something like a 90% probability that it is extremely close to yesterday's weather. Same concept with velocity. If you have multiple teams and they're estimating in some kind of an abstraction, such as points, it's important to remember that the velocities between those teams can be extremely different. The way that each team estimates is going to be a little bit different. And this has everything to do with skill levels, personality, experience of the individuals on the team. It's not important at all that points and velocity are comparable across teams. It's just very important that they are consistent within teams. So the way that a team estimates should remain as consistent as possible throughout the life of a project.